Hello, hello, hello. Hi, how are you? Hello, everybody. Brian here, quantlabs.net. As we wait, here we go. How are we going to go? Yeah, it's working. All right, so let's talk about this week. We've got lots of red on the, what's it called, leaderboard here at Yahoo Finance. Do I really need to go into that? Bitcoin is even down, so I've been really focusing on the server stuff. Hopefully got a solution tonight, but I keep saying that, don't I? But let's get back to what you're here for. Alrighty, yabba dabba doo. Alright, so important stuff here, but not much to pick from. See here, we have our harmonic scan for our chart. Harmonic price here needs to be higher than the current price, and that's what we're looking for. But you can see here along Deutsche 30, NASDAQ, S&P, US 30, France. I mean, these are all shorts, and these are at the top. This tells me that the markets are looking stronger, higher potential to drop. And that's what I'm seeing here. So I'm not going to worry about it because there are the odd trade here. Here we're starting to get Britain and New Zealand, so I'm starting to think, is Britain starting to strengthen in its own way post-Brexit? And that was with New Zealand. That's another strong currency as well. Here we have our usuals. I'm not even going to mention them, but here's another long due to oil price. Here, let's take a look at oil. So oil's got a little bit of a dip there, but trending up since May 2020. Similar to WTI. So that's looking good, continuing along. Everything really comes down to supply and demand over on the oil trade. So here the oil trade or commodity trade of US Canadian, you can see it just getting crushed. One other thing I want to also highlight is that the USD I'm not seeing as much of compared to last Friday. As a base quote, I don't think I even see anything other than the US markets here. That will tell you that the U.S. credibility is getting killed. I purposely waited until today to make that choice. And in the next week, we have the inauguration. We have another stimulus. So that might be a short-term pop. But long-term, the fundamentals for the U.S. is not looking good. But there are some safe havens to hide out at. Not many, but the safe havens are there. We've talked about them. I would think number one right now is the U.S. Japanese yen. This one, you can see the longs here. 2 USD, Norway looking good. Sweden also, but Sweden's actually starting to really come about. As long as the U.S. markets start to trend down, expect to see these Scandinavian currencies be a nice place to hide out in. I've talked about them in another video. Another one is the Swiss franc, but not so much I'm finding. Here we have gold, gold and CHF, gold and euro, and yet it's still calling for shorts. These should be going up. I think this is just due to suppression on trading desks. Like a couple of banks have been killed for this, or banks. So we have here more gold, short calls in British pounds, but this is where it gets interesting. No, not yet. So like gold is not a place to be. That's unusual. But again, it's all distorted. The market is distorted. France, that's the France 40, or the CAC, EU 50, all shorting. Even the euro and Japanese yen is getting a short. Okay? Euro in New Zealand not looking good, even though it's got a long there, but it does say something about the New Zealand dollar. It's still relatively strong. I'm not seeing any Australia dollar, but New Zealand, yeah. Deutsche 30. Guess what? We got a short there. We've talked about this for a while with Asia. I really thought Asia had some recovery going on. You can see here Hong Kong dollar. We do have a long, and it's gotten a little choppy, but again, I don't feel that's very convincing if there is going to be, let's say, a market dip or a market drop. As I said, I don't think it'll happen yet, but after the stimulus, maybe, because the effects of the stimulus are not as great as they should be. That's just due to the virus is really putting a lot of debt on the books of the U.S. government and Fed. You can see here British and Singapore got another short. We got short here on Singapore and Japanese yen, so that makes me think, well, there's not a lot going on in Asia right now as I thought there would be. It's really a lot of things going on that are negative in the world. Of course, virus is another one. Here we have this call for the U.S. rupee, but it hasn't proven itself. So again, it's just not convincing yet. Got more calls in the S&P 500. Same with the top 30 of the U.S. Here we are maintaining this call on a long for the USD Canadian. As I said, the Brent crude, WTI looks good, but when you look at the performance of here, print money and kills off yet again the credibility of Canada. So here, one place that I'm not seeing a lot of, that I thought I'd see more of, is USD in the Eastern economies, be it Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Poland. I'm not seeing that as convincingly compared to Scandinavia. USD in Hong Kong, again, choppy, but yet we still have some potential with the USD Japanese yen. Again, I've mentioned this before, USD Norway. You just start to see that Sweden trade may start trending up. I don't know, but not yet with the Norwegian. We've talked about this before in the past, where you look at the crash of February, March last year, 2020. These currencies did quite well. These combos, these pairs. But you can see more and more Sweden, 3 of them. Was that 2? And same with Norway as well. So those are the potential top picks right now, if things get really bad when the markets turn. But it's a good time to get in on them now. No longer gold, no longer silver. I'm just not seeing them. They're not proving. Oil's looking good, but that could come down pretty fast. Again, when you look at Britain, I've talked about, not much of it is a positive trend since December 13th with the pound against the franc. So that's looking okay. Again, when you look at the pound and Japanese yen, same thing. It is choppy, but it is overall trending up. So there's something to like with the British pound. This one, I would expect more. The pound against the New Zealand, it's choppy. It's really not going anywhere, but there is a call for long on it. New Zealand and Swiss franc, there's a short there. Now this trended up here nicely, but it's starting to do the reverse. That's Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, and CHF, or the franc. That's trending up. That's looking pretty good actually. But I'm not finding any more Australia. But I'm not saying Australia is a bad one, but New Zealand and maybe Britain might have something better going on. Check that out. We've talked about this. That's a nice trend up. Lots of choppiness there. The Canadian, Swiss franc. Big short there on the pound against the USD. Big another one for the Canadian. We got another one here for the pound against the Canadian. And we got a short here on the pound against the franc. USD has a long against the franc, but when you think about it, that's why I'm saying you're better off to be in the USD and Japanese yen. Again, we have Denmark. It's starting to show something as well. No different than Sweden. That's Denmark again. And you got 1, 2, 3 longs. Okay, the 3 of them there. Here's another one I'm interested in. This is proven to be another one that could take off, is Mexico, but not here. But again, I've already talked about the top performers of where to go. Gold in Australia, we have a long here. So if you're going to hold gold, that's probably a place you want to be in Australia. Don't ask me why. Gold and Canadian shorts there. Gold, which we used to have, was gold in the Swiss franc, but it's not looking good with all these shorts here. Same with the gold in euro. And gold in New Zealand. Now, again, here we have one long on gold in New Zealand and a short on gold in New Zealand. So that will wash that out. Here we have gold in Singapore, short that there. Gold in Canadian, that's another short. So by just going through the sheer number, you can see there's so many shorts here. I mean, and they're not guaranteed. It's so choppy. It's really hard. But what we're looking for are trends. Gold in Swiss franc again, another short. Gold in the pound, another short. Gold in New Zealand, another short. Another short. Man, this is not looking good, folks. Australian, the franc, that's looking pretty good. That's the second one. That's a nice long there. Gold in, Australian Singapore dollar, that's looking pretty good. Euro and the Swiss franc, no. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm getting some big yellow message. Anyways, I don't really bother me too much. Euro in the Swiss franc. Euro in the Czech. Longs there. So Czech is looking okay. I think there was a third one there. So here, Euro and the British pound, a long. This is quite unusual. But you can see that trend down. But you might have a nice leg up temporarily. Let's see what this one is. Another one. That's Euro against the British pound. So that's why I'm wondering why the Euro, the British pound has got that like as a big trade. That's obviously post Brexit. Euro and Hong Kong dollar. Got 1, 2, 3 shorts. So here is what I would expect. We talked about Eastern Europe short there. That's a Euro. Poland, and we start to get these crazy ones. The rand. The Turkish lira. Long though, I wouldn't really pay attention to that. Another short on the Euro USD. So it had its trend, and it's now starting to trend down. So that confirms my theory. New Zealand in US Singapore dollar, sort of flat. British pound, look at that. We have a long there for it. For the UK bond. Along there. So it says something about the credibility or something about the British pound. I don't really. With a long, again, that's something to be on the lookout for. USD in Saudi, flat, no volume. Choppy for the Thai, for the USD in Thai. Again, nothing with the USD Swiss. And here I've already talked about another long, got a bunch of longs actually, for the USD Denmark. So we got 1, 2, 3. So Norway, I'm not sure, but this is looking good. USD Mexico, too choppy, does have a long, I've already adjusted that. USD Singapore, USD Turkish, I wouldn't touch that. Now here's the one that we want to watch. Natural gas, it's still kind of nice ride up from what, 218 to right now over at 270. That's not bad. It's the only commodity we have that's proven itself. So CHD in Hong Kong really flat there. That was a short. 1, 2, 3 shorts for the franc and the Japanese yen. No thanks. Pound against the Canadian, another 1 short, 2 shorts. It's a shorter's delight, but you got to be really careful. You got to pick the right one at the right time. Pound against the franc, a short. Pound against the Hong Kong dollar, short. Pound against the Polish, short. Pound against the USD. Okay, so again, I talked about that. The USD is a base quote, and it's a short. So that says right there that, again, what I said before a week ago with the USD looking good till early this week, and now it's starting to dip down. New Zealand, Canadian, short. Again, a lot of shorts here. I'm not going to go over them. New Zealand and USD, even that's got a short. 2 of them. Singapore, Swiss franc, really nothing. Singapore Hong Kong dollars trending down with a short there. Australia Canadian looks like it's topped out and it's got a short, so that's the direction it may go. And that's pretty well it. I guess we're okay for now. And thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day.